Palmer. Salah. Oh, wow. Huge shot. It's given straight away. Yet again fails.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Dugout Podcast. I'm your co-host Andrew. I'm joined alongside my fellow co-host Marissa, but remotely. Hi Marissa, what's up?
You look different. What's happening?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure that the same as always, no?
Glasses. The lack of glasses.
Or the lack of glasses, okay.
Yeah.
Well, is that a good thing or never mind? Never mind. Not going to spot like that. I'm not going to say up to embarrass me. So never mind. Um, but so we are here again for another discussion. And this episode essentially starts our road to the World Cup because we're going to be shifting focus onto all things World Cup as it pertains to football. Um, I know. We didn't get a chance to talk about Champions League final and all that stuff. We wanted to spare any Arsenal fans that really show, you know, the scrutiny of our opinions on what they did in that final. Am I right or am I wrong?
Sure.
Okay. Well, first topic. The World Cup starts on Thursday, June 11th. A June the 11th, a very, very special day for
What's
multitude of reasons. Never mind. But yeah, just rest assured it's special. I know you know what's special anyway.
I have no idea what
That being said, if that is story you want to take it, no problem. But that being said, the World Cup starts on June 11th. And we're going to start our first topic, our first discussion with a little bit of a, debate, hopefully discussion about who are the three tournament favorites, who should be the teams to look out for. I'm going to turn over to Marissa, let her go first.
Me?
Yeah,
You're like the football guru.
No, either.
Favorites for the World Cup. I think you can't go any further than France. I think in this 4-year cycle, you've seen even greater emergence, if that was possible, of some really, really good French players. Some of whom we will talk about in our next segment, so I won't spoil it too much. But it's hard to go past France because they seem to have such a complete side. Solid defense, very good midfield, excellent attackers. They lost out last time to Argentina. Can I really say Argentina are favorites? I mean, it's hard to not say that because they are defending champions. But I don't know. But anyways, Canada past France for sure. I think another side that has really, really, really good players and could be in, and really and truly should be in with the show. I mean, when we were growing up, Andrew, I mean, when you started to tell the story, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This side was a rave. Like, I remember in primary school, TV always used to be on when Brazil was playing. Like, Brazil is just the team for Barbados. But it's hard to look past them as well because, again, specifically in attacking areas, despite what people are saying, I don't think England are pre-tournament favorites. I really don't. I think Spain as well. Spain has to be up there. Talk about a side that has had a real emergence of talent over the last 4-year cycle. Spain is definitely up there. So I think those three for me would be my favorites. Um, Ironically, all three are European sides, but hey. So yeah, well, no, sorry, what am I saying?
No, Brazil. You said Brazil.
Brazil, right? Yeah. Why did I think? Anyways, so yeah, those would be my three favorites right now, just on paper.
Okay, fair enough. So your three would be France, Brazil, and Spain.
Yeah.
Your three. Okay. Your reasons, France having the quality of the squad, Spain having emergency talent. You said Brazil. What's the reason for Brazil again?
I think Brazil has a good attacking force.
Hmm.
At midfield. Um, and I think recently Brazil states the embarrassment of what happened in the 2014 World Cup. It was 2014. How am I forgetting? How am I forgetting my Germany won the World Cup? Since that embarrassment, I think Brazil has really.
That was a clear kind of a shameless plug. But go ahead.
That's not what I was trying to do. Oh my gosh. Anyways, but I think since that embarrassment, I've really seen Brazil has looked a lot better. I think some of their squad selections are a bit risky, I would say.
Hmm.
But I guess we will see, and we will delve deeper into that as the tournament goes on. But I think those would be my three favorites.
Okay. Well, in terms of predetermined favorites, it's interesting because I found that the last 2 years, whenever international breaks have taken place or transpired, I haven't really watched the international football as I did before. For some
Same.
reason, I wasn't really feeling it during the national break. It was more like the last 2 years, it has been more case of, well, I want a national break to come and go quickly so we can get back into the football.
Same.
Um, and I think a lot of that has had to do with the fact that the qualification process in some regards has been watered down with the expansion of certain tournaments, which means that, most of the qualifying groups are kind of the foregone conclusion for the most part.
Yeah.
So that being said, I found that as I looked ahead to this World Cup, which I'm kind of excited about, but as I look forward to it or look ahead to it, um, I haven't really been able to you know,
Almost
give a
gauge
clear
where the
indication, yeah,
sides are
gauge
at.
where teams are as
Yeah. Mhm.
gauge where teams are at. But so not to ramble, even though pre-tournament favorites on paper, to me I feel as though, but I'm going to watch all the games. Thankfully, it's in America and Canada and Mexico where the
You
times
can
are
watch
favorable
all the
to us.
games.
Most of them,
AWL.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think, or even if not all, most of the games that will feature teams of interest played out.
Okay.
I think I should watch all because it's four. I think the games will be 4, 6, and 9 for the most part.
There's a game at midnight on Sunday. You can watch that too?
You sure the game at midnight? I
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I guess nothing. But I saw most times were like 9, 10.
Yeah, most of the time it's
I, all depends. Game at midnight, all depends. All depends. That might be one that play on the West Coast hunger. But point being, I just watch most of the games with interest. I feel as though after the first one of the games or what's not, we've got a better indication of who I think we should look out for.
mm-hmm.
But France, obviously on paper, the squad that, there's a lot of talent there. My concern about them, or I guess the usual concern about France would be the champ team selection and, the cohesiveness inside.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not, he gets them up to their level or what's not, or, standard drop. Um, Spain, and I would say Spain because yes, they have talent, but also they're reigning European champions, so as a result, they should be respected. And then, well, in terms of European, there's two things that I would probably kind of expect a lot from before a ball is kicked. And then in terms of America, I would say Argentina and Brazil. Argentina, to me, the same question will raise again whether or not they have a good enough team to service Messi or allow Messi to service the others. I think a lot will depend on their defense. They struggled in the last World Cup, even though they won. There were moments in games where they struggled. And it's the same, essentially, it's going to be the same back four. And then in terms of Messi, obviously Oda. But and the mirror's not there anymore. So it's all about for me. It's all about how much help he gets from Alvarez, for example, and Martinez, the other guys that will be in the attack as well. And then for me, Brazil, and because for me, I have a funny feeling like South American teams might acclimatize to temperatures a bit quicker than the European size. So I was considered Brazil as well. But for me, Brazil had the same problem that had the last World Cup. Maybe you had that argument until that Brazilian win that World Cup. And it was because Brazil lasted a genuine number 9. I didn't know what to do. Because it's some games you will need that genuine number 9. But for me, I think Brazil's they said a lot of attacking talent is all about where how the manager gets them to fit in together and gets the balance of the side right.
And let me delve into that. Know that you, because it leads, it's not on the agenda, but it leads right into something I alluded to Brazil's squad selection. Because you're 100% right. And I think we saw at the last World Cup that it did end up biting them in the behind. So, with that in mind, how could Ancelotti, and this is not my club badge showing, this is a genuine question. How could Ancelotti leave home a player like João Pedro that has had a very good season in a struggling Chelsea side that has scored a lot of goals? I think he's had 20 plus goal involvements for us this season, mostly playing in that number 9 position. What is his rationale for that? Because that's something that confused me. As a Chelsea fan, I'm happy that he would get some rest because that's a concern that I have with this World Cup. There's not been much of a break between the end of the season and the start of the World Cup, and then there's not going to be much break between the end of the World Cup and preseason for clubs. So I'm happy he'll get a rest, but it was a selection that baffled me given what you just said as well. So what are your thoughts on it?
Uh, Honestly, right? Although João Pedro is a player I like, I would say that Brazil hasn't had a superstar number 9 for quite a while. I wouldn't necessarily put João Pedro in the superstar category per se. He did carry number 9 though. He just I don't know if number 9 start. I am assuming number 9 is Hendrick. That's the only attacker that I see in the squad that is really at number 9, right?
But
Because
he's
it's
really
Hendrick.
good.
True, but listen, I've seen Brazil main workouts with strippers that hardly played during season. No, obviously that person had a really reputation at Hendrick. I'm just saying. And you can't. Well, when you say he barely played, you mean for because remember he went
As in the
to
first half of the season, he was at Real Madrid, mostly warming the bench.
right. I think he
And
went.
then
Right, I
he
think he
went to
almost
Lille, right?
went somewhere in France. And he played pretty sure he played.
And that's just half
Didn't
of
he?
the season. João Pedro has been playing the whole season.
Yeah, but that's all you need. If I play from January to May, are you good? Are you good? So, for example, Kobe Minu, Kobe Minu did play for the first half of the season
Don't
again in
get
the
me
squad.
started on the don't get me started on the England
That's just
squad.
an example. So, but I'm saying I think January to May is enough football. If you take the guys, they enough to take with you, right? I think João Pedro, though, to answer your question, could feel hard and play. But again, the problem for me is that the last 4 years I would have taken by no Brazil would have had and ready made number 9 that would have been merged as Cement to play as an automatic starter, right? So it's going to be interesting because I think where Brazil's trying to face in terms of attack is the wide areas. They got a lot of wingers and or even people that can play the number 10 role or just offer the striker, but they really got points as we call it in traditional sense. I don't expect Andrew to start. So it'd be interesting to see what he does if he goes with something like what PSG does and tries to go with a fluid front three that can rotate in the different spots or something. I'm not sure. I assuming that's what he might try to do.
Mm.
So maybe Cunha, Vinicius, and Rafinha on the right.
Okay, fair enough. Another thing too, because I was going to put this as a topic, but I wasn't sure how best to word it. But you kind of brought it out there. The conditions at the World Cup. No, we
Mhm.
saw how it was in the Club World Cup. Um, I think it was really hot. Had multiple water breaks. You've even seen in some of the warm up games they're doing it as well. You said that you think the South American sides will acclimatize because I guess that temperature and those hard conditions are more familiar to them in terms of what they're used to. But in terms of the European sides, how do you think the conditions could potentially impact them at the World Cup, if at all?
Well, the only way the condition can pat anybody is whether or not it's tempo again, right?
Mm,
If you get a situation where a team is more adjusted to it and can run a bit more, play a bit more, exert a bit more energy, then that might tell in certain games.
mm,
So I expect, like, for instance, if the temperature is really really humid, for example, and soaring, then you could almost anticipate that certain games will have a very very slow tempo and slow pace about it, just because if you're struggling with the conditions. But at the same time, you must say the conditions will be the same for both teams that only field. But I think, and something that also bear in mind, the reason I think South America team might be fancy to go a bit, the close in this tournament game is because I think historically every workout has been held in this part of the world, like this continent, has been won by the South American team.
mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a bit of history. I think Argentina would have won in Mexico in '78. Argentina won in '86. I think that was also back in Mexico, and Brazil won in '94.
Okay. So we talked about the favorites, but do you have any dark horses? Somebody that you wouldn't
Hmm.
consider a favorite, but you think has the talent on paper or the squad on paper that could potentially squeeze in there among the favorites?
Mm, potentially, I think I wouldn't be surprised if an African team goes far. Um, Maybe a Morocco or a Senegal, Ivory Coast potentially. Um, Maybe a Colombia could be a show. I think they have a pretty good team. In terms of Europe, I'm guessing maybe a Portugal might be a show, but I ain't really too high on the European teams this year. Honestly, I honestly think that the winner will come from South America. That is
Okay.
me.
So if you had to call a winner now, it would be who? Argentina?
Or Brazil, yeah,
Okay.
or Brazil.
Interesting.
But again, I think Brazil is more about what Ancelotti does with the team instead of finding the balance. If he gets the balance right, yeah, I could probably see Brazil doing something.
Yeah, the same as you. I haven't really been watching international football as much. But I would say that I agree with you. African side, for sure. Can't really call Morocco and Senegal in the same sentence, Andrew. So I don't know what he was doing there just now. But yeah, maybe African side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't say England though. Right,
What you can say,
surprised.
Farmers, right? You get me so
That's
sick.
a
I
dirt
said,
horse.
no, there are the bats. Like, listen, I knew that England was a struggle before you know that before you admit that England was a struggle because for the last 12 to 18 months, maybe roughly, you with this narrative with the media, England got a good squad and England take the pool of players in England. Yeah, I've heard that more than once. You take the pool of talent that England has, you know, should make them a contender or what's not. And I
I
tell
still
myself,
stand
really,
by that.
The Premier League, right?
I still stand by that.
Okay.
I
And by
don't
the
stand
time it
by
is,
it. No, I don't stand by it. No, that the squad has been picked, but I still stand by that. England has a good enough pool of players that should be challenging. But unfortunately, the right players have not been picked. So hey,
right there, listen, I really is right. I stand by two statements here. One, the Premier League really got a sound with a brainwash. And
not
number
me
two,
at all.
no, you at all. Number two, well, you see, part of the problem with England is not only the talent pool, is also the managers the NFS get it.
Exactly.
I hold the managers and then manage your side. Um, like you said, I don't think the strongest squad that to look at have taken. I'm not even talking about just personnel. I think in midfield, work my leg at best. You got question marks over certain defensive positions. And then, and I haven't watched England. I think I glanced at the friendly against New Zealand yesterday, right? And it's funny, as soon as the game ended, one of the report on BBC posted an article You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure so. The headline was something like this was a training game, but no England need to get serious. And that's what always baffles me with England tournaments. I don't get the experimentation all the way to the game before the damn tournament. They talk about getting serious. You should be getting serious ever since. I think because if you look at most teams that have played friendlies, they play close to the strongest team. It's all about getting that harmony, getting that cohesiveness, getting that partner to play. Um, you know, hammer down, for example. England always seem to be just unable to find a rhythm or a way of playing that is conducive to them winning. And going back to what I said before, having watched the game yesterday against New Zealand, I think that unless Bellingham and Kane cook in terms of combinations and that's everything, and unless they get the help from the waiters, the likes of Saka and Rashford, that the England will struggle.
Okay. Not much that you said I disagree with there. So let me move on.
But before
Players
I
to
move on,
watch.
just remember that England got
Obviously,
something
we know
from
this
people.
is a very.
I think Mercer's camera has stuck. So I think Mercer was about to move on to players to watch. Give her a few minutes to get back in. You're back in, Mercer?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there just now.
Yeah, you going pretty
Um,
close.
yeah, my screen just said connection lost for some reason, even though the Wi-Fi was still on. Weird.
Mm.
So I was saying that obviously we know this is a very large. This is probably the biggest pool of teams we've had in the World Cup. So
No,
obviously,
probably it's the biggest workout. It's the biggest workout. They're just Hispanic for
yeah,
ladies.
yeah. So we'll probably miss a good few players. I'll probably come off this podcast be like, oh yeah, I didn't mention XYZ. But who are from the top of your head, if you could call 3 to 5 players, who would you say are players that you have your eye on at this World Cup?
Um, you mean like so? This young players or just any player in general?
Any player in general.
Okay. Um, I think Jude Bellingham is key for the England team. He has to have a good tournament if England will go for it or do something of significance. And number one, who else? Lamine Lamal. Um, I think there'll be a lot of expectation on him. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he does as well. Anybody else that I think that emerging? Hmm. Actually, you know what? And honestly, the other players that I would want to keep an eye on are mostly going to be established stars that kind of played the last World Cups. So the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, the likes of Messi, the likes of Salam Mane, the veterans. Because they've got a couple of young players of note, the likes of Diomande, for example, and others. But I think most of
Of
the
course, you'll call that name.
yeah, I will. I think you're one of the guys that would have been an exciting prospect for you got injured, so you missed the tournament. Like a car, right?
Yeah, saw that yesterday, I think.
But I would say Florian Wirtz as well. I think he needs a big tournament after the season that you had. Um, yeah. What about you?
Okay. So I hear the veteran argument actually, because I know sometimes, well, most of the times you go into the tournament and you're probably looking for the next best talent because we know a lot of persons have gotten moves after having some really good World Cups. So yeah, I hear the veteran argument. I think for me, I have my eye on Olise. I
Mm-hmm.
think that
Forgot him.
the French team,
I forgot him. Go ahead.
yeah, the French team has been all the talk has been Mbappe. Obviously, we know Dembele won the Ballon d'Or last season as well. But I think Olise over the last couple of years has really emerged as to me a world class player. And I think he's had a fantastic season with Bayern. So I'm interested to see. I'm just interested to see who starts in that far line for France. If he does, I
Mhm.
think he's somebody I have my eye on for sure. I actually have my eye on Enzo Fernandez as well. Obviously, we know he had a very good tournament last time around, got the move to Chelsea, now angling for a move away from Chelsea from reports. So I'm interested to see what kind of tournament he has. To see, because obviously, this ain't come around, but he thinks he's a big player, and he is a big
Yeah.
player. It's supposed to sound bad, but I'm saying my point is, I want to see if he goes and he plays like what he thinks he is. That's my thing. I think not to get in too much of Chelsea, but I think for me, Enzo has Enzo has been one of our better players in a very trash season, but he's also gone missing a lot when we really needed him. So I'm
Mm,
really interested to see know that he's a lot older, a lot more experienced because he was kind of like the young kid in that Argentina squad last time around. Interested to see how he plays, what he does. Um, there was somebody else too. I think Wirtz as well.
mm.
Um, highly touted, got the move to Liverpool. Very poor season by his standards. I'll be interested to see how he does. So I'm definitely going to be watching him. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. At least from the top of my head. I'm sure there are a lot of other players. Um, so yeah, that'll be it for my players that I want to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Let me throw in another name too.
Go ahead.
Mbappe. The reason I say Mbappe is there's been a lot of talk about Mbappe at Real Madrid.
Hmm.
How he's been at Real Madrid what for 2 seasons now, right?
Yeah.
Seasons, yeah. And in those 2 seasons, Real Madrid haven't won anything. He's watched PSG lift 2 Champions Leagues. Didn't win the World Cup 4 years ago. So I'm very interested to see the sort of World Cup Mbappe has, especially since, like I say, to me he was the undisputed star of the France team 4 years ago. But I think no, you're seeing a more mature and hence a better player in Dembele. Olise is arising. I just want to see how Mbappe deals with that. He's still a star, but I think he's one star among many, especially in
Hmm.
that France power line. So I just want to see how he handles that. So yeah, I will throw that name in there too.
Fair enough. Another name of a story for the France team that I want to mention, but I think that he might have a big role to play if given the opportunity to play. And that'll be Ryan Cherky. I think he's one to watch for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Demar will be happy that we're talking about so much of his players.
Probably. Fair enough. I really have nothing to add to that. I mean, I know that he disagrees with me about what Brazil might do.
Mm.
In tournament. But for fact, he does. Yeah,
In terms of he doesn't think they'll do well.
correct. He doesn't see them going that far. He doesn't think they have the strength of squad. And the argument that he made about, after all, he's been a good coach and maybe be able to find a better balanced team,
Hmm.
he basically said that, after all, he can't kick the football for them. So,
Oh,
we'll
he's
see.
not wrong there, but yeah, I think the thing with Brazil is that a lot of their players are in decent form as well.
Mm,
But his point about the squad, I guess we see. Because it could become a squad game. Like I say, there's not been much of a break for players. So squad players will definitely have to play their role. Um, yeah. Um, so let's move on to this segment because I really had to think about this. I hope you've thought about it as well. Um, which manager?
all right, Mercer, I'll have to freeze the game. But what she's about to say, the topic that she was going to introduce is which manager will be under the most pressure to win. I'm just going to give her a few minutes to get back. You're back on me, Marissa. I introduced the topic for you. You were saying that is about which managers under the most pressure to win, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So that is the topic. So I'll go first. Right. So in terms of the man, which manager is under the most pressure to win? Um, I think the Deschamps is under no pressure because it's his last tournament. He's already announced that he's leaving after the World Cup. He's already won a World Cup, so I think that he's pretty much. I don't want to say a free hit, but it's kind of like, well, let's do our best and we see what we see what where he ends
Yeah,
up.
I actually agree with that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put him in it. Super Tommy Tuchel. That what Christopher calls him. Super Tommy Tuchel. Um, I don't want to see him under pressure. Well, in a way he is, but I don't want to see him under pressure because it's his first tournament. But I think England FA is under pressure because they after this appointment on a 2 year deal. I'm pretty sure they already extended the contract to go to the next Euros even before the World Cup. A ball's kicked.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully England has a somewhat decent showing so that it wouldn't become Capello 2.0, where then it's like the team had a really, really bad performance at the tournament, and but we can't start the manager because we already extended the contract and have more big money and not be too big of a payout, right? But in terms of who I would go for,
So you can stick a pin there.
sorry,
So
go ahead.
because Tuchel, not to interrupt, but if it aligns, I wanna dive in one time. I think Tuchel
Mm-hmm.
is one of mine for sure. Like you said, it's his first tournament, yes, but that's why I have managers as country because England haven't won since 1966. Um, Tuchel was brought in to win, plain and simple. Um, they tried the whole let's stick to our own culture, no from the other 21s gig with Gareth Southgate. But to me, I think Tuchel is under pressure. He may not be under pressure from the FA, but I definitely think he's under pressure from fans and pundits because this is the reason why he was brought in. He was not brought in to get England to another quarterfinal, semifinal. If that was the case, they would have stayed with Southgate. He was simply brought in to win, and I think to me he's under more pressure now because of the big calls that he has made. Just to clarify, I don't have a problem with Tuchel making big calls because we've sat here many times and accused England managers of plenty of being afraid to make big calls. But I think some of the big calls he's made are the wrong calls.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he will live and die by those. So for me, he is under pressure, in my opinion.
I get you, and I agree, but I'm more putting pressure on the FA because having signed the contract to after the World Cup, I don't see where you guys sign a contract um, to the European Championship before the down World Cup.
Yeah.
That
Strange
just
decision for him. Yeah.
especially considering that the performances even in qualifiers and stuff like that on the him haven't been great in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
Um, Another person who might be under pressure, maybe Roberto Martinez in Portugal.
Mm.
He has a really, really good squad. Um, I think he's under pressure because I think the general consensus about Portugal nowadays is whether or not Cristiano Ronaldo is an asset to have in the team or
Mm-hmm.
right? How best to get the team to service him if he can play. Are you going to be, are you a big enough coach or a big enough personality to console Ronaldo when, you don't give him the adequate game time? You saw what happened last World Cup when he's on the bench, right? I can't really name the coach at the time. But yes, so I think Roberto Martinez will be under pressure to do something with Portugal.
Okay.
I would argue that, yes, Ronaldo's part one, but I would argue that the squad they have, especially in midfield, is a really, really good um, blend. Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Batilla, Joe Neves. Again, gotta get balance right because they can't play all of them in the midfield at least. But
Yeah.
I said that, yeah. So I think he's under pressure to make some big calls and try he's a big enough manager to not try to please everybody.
All right, so you could stick a pin there too because he's also my under pressure manager. Been in the job since 2023. Shades of when he had Belgium, that golden generation. Has a very good squad at his disposal. What did they finish in the European Championships? They got his semifinals. Or did they not?
I
Quarters.
can't remember. I don't think they got Champions though.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely think he's under pressure as well because a lot of people I would say don't rate him. A lot of people felt that Belgian team should have won something with that generation. I believe so as well. And I think again, like you mentioned, Portugal have a very, very, very strong side. And I do think that he is under pressure to deliver something for them as well. So he's also one of mine. So that's two for two. Let's see if your
I don't
next one
know.
is on my list too.
When was Martinez in Belgium drop? In terms of what year? Remember the year span?
Are you sure I could Google that quick and see? Roberto Martinez, Belgium. 2016 to 2022. Gosh, 6 years is a
Okay.
long time.
I was gonna give him a little grace, right? Because I remember the manager before him also had part of the goal generation as well. So I was just
Yeah,
wondering if he had him at the tail end or but he had a long enough time. He had a good
yeah, he
enough
had
time in
them
some
for
way.
a while. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are there any other managers on my in my mind that come to mind that I think would be considered under pressure? You know what? I would say this one. I think this one might catch you up a little bit. I would say Ronald Koeman is under pressure with the Dutch league.
Disappointed me. I thought we were going to go three for three, but go ahead. Let me hear your argument.
And it's not because I think the Dutch team got an exceptional squad, but I think that Koeman, especially with what happened at his last managerial job at club level, I think Koeman is under pressure in terms of restoring his reputation a bit, in terms of what
Mm,
people perceive him to be. Because the general consensus is that he's not a good coach. Or that seems to be consensus that people are spinning. Although, and the thing is that I don't know if I necessarily believe, if he's made some bad decisions, but I don't necessarily believe that. And the reason why is because I'm old enough to remember when he coached. There's a minimum side, but I'm old enough to remember when he coached team at Southampton and had them training in the right direction. And for anybody who questioned it, that was the Southampton team with people like Mane and
yeah.
was the Italian striker. I can't remember his name, Giampido, Tadic, exactly.
Hmm.
So I know you can't coach teams that play good football, that make the strides. So I think he might be under pressure to sort of restore his frailing reputation as a manager.
You know who's my third manager? You should be able to
uh,
guess who's my third manager that's under pressure.
is it Nagelsmann?
Of course.
Okay,
He is
go ahead.
under massive pressure, in my opinion. Germany have
Mhm.
been eliminated at the group stage of the last two World Cups. That is absolutely unacceptable for a side with the pedigree of Germany. 2018 FIFA World Cup out at the group stage and the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Then continuing the Euros, the last good tournament we had was Euro 2016 semi-final run. But 2020 eliminated by England. Absolute disgrace. And then the 2024 Euros, eliminated in quarterfinals by Spain. No shame in that. But again, Germany's last few tournaments have been very poor. And I think Nagelsmann is definitely under pressure to deliver something for Germany this year. Um, Obviously, it's not the side that it was. We know this, but there's still some very talented footballers in there. Um, as usual with Germany, I always worry about our centre backs. But the forward line will provide goals, but he under pressure. He's definitely under pressure in my opinion. Germany has to have a good tournament, in my opinion. If not, he get fired.
I have no questions. I mean, okay, I have no questions because I don't know if it necessarily agree. So, firstly, when did Nagelsmann take the job?
I ain't care. 'Cause I know you would have come with that. It is
That's
not.
just a question.
I'm not arguing. I understand you, and I'm not arguing from the point of view of obviously. I think he's only been in the job less than 2 years. Less than 2 years, right?
All right, good. Yeah, good. No, no, but the reason I said that, the reason I asked that question, because you go, no, 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 don't assume where I'm going. You never know where I'm going. You never know where I'm going. The reason I asked that is because I know he last World Cup. I don't think he was the manager. I think it was time to flip, right?
I think so.
Good, correct.
Disgusting.
So the 2018 would have been, I think that would have been walking those last World Cup as boss.
Yeah.
So a couple things happened there.
2023. 2023.
2023.
3 years.
So a couple of no problem, no problem, no problem. A couple of things happened there. Because the reason I don't necessarily I think Germany's under pressure, but I wouldn't necessarily include Nagelsmann as being he's a coach, so you definitely feel pressure. But I wouldn't necessarily look at Nagelsmann different if Germany do well. And here's why. Because Joachim Low had took the job after Klinsmann. It was it. I had a job for almost over a decade. I thought Joachim Low fell into the Arsene Wenger trap, which is that it's still a bit too long.
Yeah.
And by the time Joachim Low left, you all had a little lull in terms of productivity of players. Right?
True.
Now you see a little glimmer. Got those things that you catch about stuff a little bit with 1 or 2 at commentary. But the reason I wouldn't necessarily say that Nagelsmann is as he's a figurehead for this way, he's the biggest German under pressure. It's because the last European Championship, or his one term as boss in Euro 2024, you actually played well. I thought you already second. I would call you always second best team in the tournament in terms of how you all play. And it's just unfortunate that you all ran into Spain at the quarterfinal stage. Because that game could have gone either way. I'm pretty sure all got beat at extra time, right? Something like that. If I'm not mistaken.
I remember. I've blocked it out.
I think you all got beat at half extra time. But it was a really, really close game, a really tight game. Right? So I thought that you all were making good strides. So I actually think I think Germany under pressure from the standpoint that, like you said, you all haven't done anything of significance in the major tournament, especially World Cup, for quite a while. Since you all won it early. Right? So I think that's really pressure on them. But I don't think I wouldn't see that as just in manager. I think it's pressure on Germany as a squad. That group of players to do something of significance.
Agreed, and that's why it's title manager/country. Because I think Germany as a whole, you're right. Germany as a whole is under pressure to do something in this World Cup. You cannot exit the group stage of 2 consecutive World Cups and not be under some sort of pressure as a country. Obviously, we don't, like I said earlier, we don't have that generation of players we did before. It's still a decent squad. But I do worry about Germany if we butter on anybody that's good. But yeah, I guess we see. I don't think I had anybody else on my list.
Remember, as we said, well, as I said, remember, if I can remember 2 years ago, he said that I told you all I think that tournament came a bit early. So maybe all ran to Spain was like, but you all were impressive up until that point.
And that's fair.
So I give Nagelsmann, and that was a step in the right direction because the other tournaments before that, y'all didn't look like nothing. So like, that's a little bit of credit in back. And the thing with Nagelsmann is that win or lose, good term or not, I'm not necessarily sure that he's a young guy. I'm not necessarily sure that he will stay on that Germany boss either way. Because I think ultimately if the right club opportunity comes around, I think he's looking to move. Or might be looking to move. That's my suspicion. Yeah, but I think I would say, you know what, going back to that question, I'm about their horse. I'll throw Germany in there. Germany might be a dark horse in the tournament. And I'll give you a bit of solace, right? You can always take solace from this. It could be worse. It could be Italy. And they're playing a World Cup for 3. I qualified for the last 3 World Cups. It could be worse. You could be England. And they've been in a World Cup in 60 odd years. It could be worse. It could all be worse.
That's mad.
It could be worse. You can have an Englishman as a coach. It could be worse. It could be worse. It could all be worse. Go to you.
So I thought 2 managerial names out here. Scaloni from Argentina and Ancelotti from Brazil. You mentioned both of those countries as your potential favorites, your pre-tournament favorites. Do you think that those 2 are under any sort of pressure at all?
No, school anyway. You went already. Pressure on them. Sorry, I mean, again, maybe on pressure to retain. They obviously won't do well. They won't win another one. But I would say that unless it's a really, really shambolic showing, which I wouldn't expect, I would say that his stature, his reputation be severely damaged. He won, and Ancelotti, Don Carlo. I mean, it's Don Carlo. Again, I think that there's pressure because obviously I think Brazil as a nation feels as this. I think the world believes too. They've gone too long without winning one or even challenging for one. I think the last 3 or 4 World Cups they've basically been bounced out in the quarterfinal stage by the European team, which is not of Brazil standards. So I think that they're under pressure at the end of the country, but I wouldn't say that it's tied to Ancelotti, and in terms of his reputation will be severely, damaged again if they don't, win this one.
Okay, fair enough.
Mhm.
I just wanted to throw those names out there. But I can't say that I'm excited about the World Cup yet, to be honest. It's just so many teams. So many teams. So many games to get through almost. So that's the part I'm not really looking forward to. But I guess we see. I mean, usually once this tournament starts and I start watching them, I just really get into it. But right now I am as excited as you are, to be honest. I guess we see.
I'm excited because I think my thing is that it's not so much I'm excited because of the World Cup, but part of it, I'm excited because football is back. You know, I like football, so I like watching football. So I will
Fair.
watch, and like I said, I think I plan to watch most of the games. They tell me about some games that's 12 o'clock. When I check the times, I didn't look through all the games, but I checked like the years just to get an idea because normally the games kind of run out the same time
Yeah.
generally. So I saw there was a game at 4 p.m. Eastern time. There'll be a game at about 6 or so, and then there'll be a game at about 9. I didn't see midnight games, so maybe that's one that based is somewhere that I did go after in the schedule. But if there's a midnight one, I don't know, boy, that would be tight because it's a man that I fall asleep relatively early. Um,
Yeah, it's
but hopefully,
just one game. It's Austria versus Jordan, so you're not gonna worry about
I'm watching that. I'm watching that. I'm watching that. Thank you for that.
that. No problem.
But
That's
when I say watching most again, watching the games of teams of interest, so I want to see England. I want to see. Well, I see England already. I don't need to see more, but I watch them.
oh,
Um,
Tunisia versus Japan is another one.
okay, and if I watch them, but I want to see Senegal. I want to see Morocco. I want to see Ivory Coast. I want to see Argentina, Colombia, Brazil. Obviously, I want to see Germany, Spain, France, England, Portugal, Holland. I want to see
You know,
the usual suspects.
same. You know, it's written in stars that Senegal and Morocco will meet in this World Cup at some point.
I'm looking forward to it. I must say,
Honestly, if that
I'm
happen,
looking
boy,
forward to it.
front row seat for me. Um.
Um,
So yeah, as Andrew would have said at the beginning, we are definitely going to be doing a lot of different things. As you can see, the show is on Sunday. No, this will be the case for the World Cup because Sundays kind of represent an interesting point because I think it's gonna fall in such a way that we'll be able to cover like the end of the group stage or the beginning of another stage. But Sunday is a good day to do a recap slash preview show of what has gone before and what will come. And then obviously we'll be doing those short videos, so you can look out for those on our social media pages when something of interest happens. Because I do think it will take a while. World Cup can start with buying. I think it will take a while to warm up a bit. So you can look forward to that. So yeah, we're gonna give away everything we're doing right now, but you could definitely look forward to us doing some different things in the World Cup. So we hope that you guys will definitely tune in.
I agree.
Have I
I second that.
disconnected? I've been disconnected.
You're back.
Oh brother.
I can hear you. I can hear you. But yeah, so definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can still see you as well. But yeah, definitely looking forward to doing that. And hopefully putting out some good engaging content that you guys will appreciate and tune into, as Mercer said. Ready to
Oh,
rock?
you paused? Yeah, unless you
Yeah,
have anything
I
else
paused
to add.
guys. Ready to rock? I do it.
Oh,
That's it for me.
okay. All right. So of course you could follow us on our socials that are going across the screen right now. The Dugout _podcast, Rissa Simone 91, Drew 9106. Obviously our sponsors, can't forget them, Whole Health Pharmacy 246 and Spirit Led Studios 246. One thing I would say though is that we may be watching a couple of the major games at a location. So, if you want to be part of some of our recordings or what's not, you feel free to join us. We definitely post where we'll be going. That's cool, right? For us to post where we're going. If persons want to come and be a part. Yeah. So we definitely post where we're going, but we're only gonna do it for like the major games, maybe coming on to like the quarters, semis, finals, that sort of thing. So you could definitely look out for that. Also, we have to plug our blog that Andrew has so diligently started already. I haven't written anything yet, but he started already with a piece on Liverpool and one on England. Very, very good pieces. So definitely check out our Substat profile. I'll definitely post that as well for persons to check out. And yeah, because some of our content as well throughout the World Cup, depending on what happens, of course, may be written as well. So, we're expanding, we're trying to do different things to serve the community
We're
in
dishing.
different ways.
Should like Rocket
So
Rock over there.
we hope that you guys are going to
But
continue to support and engage because
right. Back yet, Marissa, are you good?
you are, man, just laugh. I can hear you, but
Because
I don't
because
know if you can hear
because
me.
you can hear me okay. Because your camera is glitching a lot, right? So I refer to you as Rocket Rock. But nevertheless, as Marissa said,
I'll be on
do
this
follow
computer the
us.
entire day. And this computer wait to the minute I start this recording to start to play the fool. It's crazy. Anyways, continue.
Happens like that sometimes. But yeah, so as you said, Marissa, our viewers rather. Uh, so we are going to be doing things a bit differently. And we hope you like the video. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoyed the discussion. We really appreciate your support. So please like, share, subscribe, follow us, and also, as Marissa said, check out the Substack um, blog that we created. I think, as she said, I would have done 2 articles already. I would have liked to done some more, but as I'm speaking, it's like yeah, market papers. You know who it is, Marissa. You know who it is. But that's when they get through that. I back on the back on the pants and shit thing.
Cool. All right. So as I said, stay tuned for more updates from us and join us again next time.